Hello there, thanks for watching this. This is another in the series, the family series, and I'd like us to think today about Colossians and chapter 3. It says there in Colossians chapter 3 in verse 21, "Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged." We've been thinking in this family series of the responsibilities of parents to children. We're thinking about the responsibility of a husband to love his wife and a wife to honour and respect the position that God has given to her husband. And in this particular verse we're going to deal with the fact that God has given clear instructions for fathers in relation to their children. Now the Bible tells us that children are a blessing from the Lord. It tells us they're fruit. It tells us they're something that we should rejoice in, and you can go to the book of Psalms and other books, Proverbs, to see verses that would highlight these facts. But I want us to think about the responsibility of fathers to their children. I will deal in another video teaching session about the responsibility of children to parents. But it is very instructive here that Colossians chapter 3 verse 21 says this: "Fathers, provoke not your children to wrath," or to anger. There's a clear instruction that fathers should not be winding up their children, should not be provoking their children, should not be causing their children to become angry. That would teach me that there could be that possibility. It would teach me that there's the possibility that a father with his authority might actually cause a child to become irritated or frustrated. So let's not be unwise about this. The Bible teaches there are clear guidelines, that there are parameters, that a parent has to discipline the children, that there is to be guidance and instruction given, them to be brought up in a way that is good for them morally, spiritually, practically. That parents have the responsibility to guide their houses, to bring up their children in a way that would be pleasing to God. But what this is clarifying here is, fathers, provoke not your children. It's easy to stir up a child. It's easy sometimes to wind up a child, and maybe just not even intending to do it, to put such pressure on a child that the child ends up then being angry. And this verse is saying, don't provoke your children. Don't stir them up. Don't stimulate them in such a way that they have a wrong reaction. So be wise. Understand what your child is like. Understand how your children operate. Everyone is different. Deal with them according to their character and their understand their weaknesses, understand their differences in how they respond emotionally, physically. Don't provoke your children to anger. Why? It says, lest they be discouraged, disheartened. There's nothing worse than a child who has had the will knocked out of them, that they've lost the strength of character that God gave them. God intended that children should be full of character. They should be exciting, should be interesting, they should be fun, they should be pleasurable to be with. There should be an awe and a sense of wonder in the heart of a child that really, as a Christian, we should never lose. But what it's saying is, fathers, don't provoke your children to the point that they become disheartened and they become discouraged. I trust that God would help us to consider this seriously and appropriately as we seek to bring our children up in the fear of God. Thank you once again for watching this.